Now, there are two cognitive factors that are essential in the ability to tell a lie. Now, the first is called executive functioning. And executive functioning skills refer to a set of cognitive processes that are necessary to regulate behavior, such as inhibitory control or self-control skills. And there are several ways that we can measure these skills in childhood. A common task that we use with young preschoolers is called the day-night Stroop task. And so in this task, children are shown a series of cards and they have either a sun on it or a moon. And they're told that when they see the sun, they have to say the word moon. And when they see the moon, they have to say the word sun. So the opposite is what you might think. So this measures children's their ability to inhibit a dominant response, which is to say the sun if you see a sun. And instead, they have to act on some subdominant response, which is to say the opposite of what they're seeing. Another task is the bear-dragon task. This is one of my favorites. In this task, children are given commands basically like Simon Says, except one comes from the bear and one comes from a dragon. So there'll be things like touch your toes, jump up and down, clap your hands. But the child is told they have to listen only to the commands given by the bear and not the dragon. So again, they have to resist the temptation to follow what the dragon says and only obey the bear. So similar to other tasks, children have to inhibit that desire to obey each command and remember those rules. Those tasks are great for preschoolers, but they don't really work when kids start to get older and in school age. And so there's other tasks that we can use even with adults. One is called the dimensional change card sort task. In this task, children have to sort cards based on different rules. So first, they might be asked to sort by color. So this blue boat would go with the blue bunny and the red boat would go with the red bunny. They do this a whole bunch of times and then the rules change. And now they have to sort by shape or object name. So now the blue boat goes with the red boat and the blue bunny goes with the red bunny. And so after practicing these and doing a whole bunch of trials, we can figure out whoever is doing this more accurately and quickly. That means you have higher cognitive flexibility, so better cognitive skills. So another key cognitive factor in the ability to lie is theory of mind. And theory of mind is the ability to think about mental states, your own and those of others. And think about the ability it's the ability to understand that other people's thoughts and beliefs might be different from your own. And one aspect of theory of mind is false belief understanding. So this is the ability to understand that people can have beliefs about the world that are not true. So for example, let's say I show this child this box and I ask her what's inside. She'll likely tell me that there are Smarties inside. So then I open the box and I show her there are actually pencils, not Smarties, inside the box. And then I put those pencils back inside. Next, I introduce the child to someone new. I've got a character named Max. And I tell her that Max has never seen inside the box. And so we ask, what does Max think is inside the box? Now, if this girl doesn't have basic false belief understanding, she's going to think that Max knows whatever she knows. And she knows that there's pencils inside the box, not Smarties. So she would say that Max thinks there's pencils in the box. But if she does have a certain level of false belief understanding, she would correctly say that because Max has never seen inside the box, he's going to think there's Smarties in the box, just like she did in the first place. Now, in more advanced theory of mind tasks, children are asked what one character thinks regarding another character's beliefs. So for example, I might ask the child, what does Max think that this girl with the ponytail thinks? And so it can get more complicated. But false belief understanding is essential to the ability to lie. This is what allows children to understand that they know something that someone else may not know. And because of that, they can implant this false belief into another person. So make them believe something that's not true. And this is such an important and powerful ability when it comes to lying. And to illustrate its importance, I'm going to share with you a study conducted by my colleagues. And they examined whether we can actually teach young children the ability to lie through theory of mind training. So teaching them this skill. And they tested this using a hide and seek game with 3-year-olds. And take a look at this video and you'll see how the task works. So this is the first day of training.
The researcher asks him to choose his favorite candy. Then she explains the rules of the game. He must hide a candy in one of the 3 cups. If Uncle finds the candy, he gets to eat it. If he can't, then Tang Tang gets the candy. The game is in full swing. Kong Li covers his eyes and Tang Tang hides the candy. When Li asks, "Where's the candy?" Tang Tang readily points to the cup where he hid it. He keeps giving away his favorite candy because he's incapable of telling a lie. After 10 trials, it's time to call it a day. And Tang Tang gets a sticker for his effort.
So this is the first day of the study. They haven't done any training and the child clearly doesn't know how to lie. So in this study, on day 1, they did that hide and seek task to get a baseline measure, and they measured their current level of theory of mind understanding. Then they split kids into a control group and experimental group. So half the kids did theory of mind training. So this means they went over different tasks like what I just showed you with the pencils and the Smarties, and they got feedback on that behavior. And so they were read stories that were rich in what we call mental state vocabulary. And they asked questions about what are the characters thinking? What are they feeling? So practicing those skills. Whereas the control group did tasks that are completely unrelated to this type of thinking. So things about numbers and math. And so the stories didn't have that mental state vocabulary. So they did this training several times. I think it was every other day, and they had training 6 times. Then they completed a post-test. So they did the same stuff as they did at the beginning, the theory of mind tasks that I'm not going through, and then that hide and seek task. So that was the post-test. And then just the next day, they did a short-term follow-up and another short-term follow-up, another about a week later, and a long-term follow-up. And so these follow-ups were to see how long does this training really last.
This is day 3 for Tang Tang. He looks wistfully at the candy. Telling a lie is actually a very complex affair. For Tang Tang to lie, he first has to inhibit the truth. Then he has to know that what he knows is something that Li doesn't. He has to hold the truth in his mind while he invents a lie. This ability signals a crucial milestone in a child's development. Clearly, Tang Tang isn't there yet. Tang Tang has now been playing the game for 5 days. The first glimmer of a strategy appears when he covers the cup with his hand as if to hide the candy. But he still can't refrain from telling the truth. The next time when Li asks where the candy is, he wavers. Something is beginning to stir. Will he actually figure out how to deceive Li? He points to a cup. It's empty. He's won the candy this time. The look of triumph is unmistakable.
So clearly he eventually learned how to lie. And what I love is how how his techniques changed. You know, he started hiding one and be like, nope, don't look in here, it's in here. So you can see he started to learn how to lie. But is it because of that theory of mind training, or did he just happen to get better? And so looking at the post-test, we can look at, well, first let's look at the pre-test. So we had kids in that experimental group that got training and ones that didn't. Before they received any training, they're equal. They had the same level of theory of mind understanding. But after all that training, the kids in that experimental group, their skills in theory of mind did get better. So we know that the training worked, but what about, did it have an effect on lying? And so here we see the amount of lying that occurs at pre-test. So day 1, before any training, no one's lying, okay, regardless of the groups. Now at the post-test, we see a big difference. These kids who were in that experimental condition and got the theory of mind training, they told a lot more lies than the kids who received a control training, so no theory of mind training. And this difference persists even at 21 days follow-up and at 42 days follow-up. So this can tell us that theory of mind training can actually cause young children who normally don't lie, it causes them to be able to do so. And so this confirms the hypothesis that theory of mind plays a causal role in the emergence of young children's lying behavior.